Here we are at the Democratic National Convention. The Republicans had their convention last week. The big question is, can you differentiate between the foreign policies of both political parties?
I do believe that there's a very big difference. President Obama, I think, sees the world as it is and as it should be in terms of international cooperation, of partnerships with countries. President Obama recognizes the strength of the United States, but understands that our strength comes from cooperation with others on dealing with issues that require cooperation, because no one country can do things completely by itself, whether it's fighting terrorism or dealing with nuclear proliferation or energy and environmental issues or the gap between the rich and the poor, the international financial crisis. So I think that he understands the importance of partnership. I've been a little surprised, frankly, at the sharp edges of what the Republicans said. Governor Romney didn't say much about foreign policy, but basically all of a sudden deciding that we're going back to some kind of Cold War status with the Russians, I don't find particularly helpful. And a sense really of kind of American power. I think everybody respects American power. What people around the world want to see is American partnership. I also do know that if people care about this, is that America's image is much better now than it was 3.5 years ago. And I think that people know what the Bush administration did in terms of 2 wars that are still going on, or the results of it in Iraq and the war in Afghanistan. If you take the Obama administration, I think made some very calculated decisions about the use of force in Libya. It was very carefully thought through. It was in conjunction with the NATO allies, and they knew exactly how far they were going to go, what they were going to do. They are looking at Syria now and see it's a completely different country, very different issues, and they are doing any number of completely different tools in terms of humanitarian, non-lethal assistance, helping with communications, working through a variety of things to do with refugees, and never taking any option off the table. I think that the thing that we have to think about here is that while our military involvement with Afghanistan is ending, President Obama has put out some deadlines and dates, and has spoken about the fact that the military aspect is over. But he has also said that we are not just kind of walking away. That there are a number of civilian activities and non-governmental organizations and various aspects of an international involvement in Afghanistan will continue. It is not an easy situation, again, if I might say so. I fully supported President Bush in retaliation for 9/11 in Afghanistan, but that the Bush administration took its eye off the ball, decided that we needed to be involved in Iraq, and meanwhile Afghanistan got more and more complicated. So I think that it's a very difficult situation. I'm very troubled by what has been happening in the last few days, where there's been green on blue, as they call attacks, and some suspension of American training of Afghan security forces for the time being. But people recognize how difficult the situation is, but I don't think that the international community can and should totally walk away from Afghanistan.